about a very, very important topic that has to do with you. But before then, let me say, I still remain Ajuluchukwu Okabwe, and I'm not running the show alone. I still have my amiable anchor with me, co-anchor, Dimma.
All right, just like we promised, we are back to the other segment of the show. It's a discussion segment, and we are looking at a topic, a particular topic that will be of interest to a lot of people, the campaign against HIV in Anambra State. Now, you can see it in front of your screen, Let Communities Lead. Okay, this is as we are already in the 16 days activism against activism against violence against women in our society. These are part of the things that we are talking about. And someone will ask, when we talk about HIV, why just focusing on women? AJ, you asked that question before we came on board.
Well, it's just to say that men are meant to protect the women, you understand, in my own estimation. So I believe that women are more vulnerable into contacting HIV, AIDS, and other violent, will I say, conduct in the society. But then we have in the studio somebody that will definitely touch more light on this and then create better awareness to those that are watching wherever you are. And in the studio this morning we have John Bosco Okeke, who is the project manager of ANSECA, Anambra State Association of Control.
Okay. Okay, you say your name again?
John Bosco Ementa.
Okay, John Bosco Ementa.
Okay, sorry.
We're on K-Mel.
Yes.
Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. Go ahead, AJ.
So you are the project manager, Anambra State AIDS Control Agency.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, welcome to ABS this lovely morning. This said 16-day sensitization on HIV and then the vulnerability on the women's side. Please, can you tell us more on the scope of what HIV is in Anambra State and then probably maybe global, the scourge globally?
Okay, thank you for having me this morning in your studio.
Go ahead. Yeah.
HIV is a global epidemic. It's a pandemic that is moving is within us in every country. And for us here in Anambra, HIV is equally here. And the agency and our relevant partners that we are working with, we are making tremendous efforts in controlling the epidemic in the state. HIV, as you all know, is a viral infection, which is the mode of transmission is via unprotected sex, through mother-to-child transmission, through on-screen blood transfusion, and through touching, maybe having contact with sharp objects. And we probably have preventive methods of ensuring that one does not contact this HIV, ranging from prevention of mother-to-child transmission of HIV, and equally ensuring that before one gets blood transfusion, the blood must be thoroughly screened. And while we go on in this studio, I'm going to outline a good number of methods apart from the one I've just said. So,
okay. I know before now, when you talk about HIV, AIDS, people will be like so afraid that they feel that anyone that has the virus, or once the person touches you, that they will get infected. But right now, these days, we are no longer in fear, living in fear when we hear HIV. And so there was a time I was discussing with someone. He said, "Are you sure that people still have HIV? Because we don't talk much about it again, but we talk about other ailments like HPV, cancer, and all that, but we don't really talk about HIV again." And I know that we have recorded successes so far in curbing the menace. And then when you talk about the transfusion from mother to child and all that, I remember there was a time I had a chat with a medical doctor. He was saying that, yeah, that there's a possibility that a woman that is positive can't transmit to the fetus, that's the child, unless she didn't attend antenatal or they didn't carry out tests to know that, that she was positive. And again, he told me that the mother can actually breastfeed the child and the child will still be negative. And I keep wondering, how is that even possible? What happened? What changed? What happened and how did we get to this point?
Well, just like I said, that the modes of transmission are range from mother to child. And we have a good number of strategies in controlling the epidemic, which is prevention of mother-to-child transmission of HIV. That's where a positive mother who is living with HIV can give birth to the infant without the infant contacting HIV. So, and the only way a mother can transmit HIV to the child, a positive mother, is during breastfeeding, during the pregnancy proper, and during child labor. But if a woman who goes for antenatal care to have our HIV testing, which is free in all our facilities, thank God our governor has made it free antenatal care services in Anambra State. So a good number of men are now visiting our facilities. And just like you said, HIV, when it came on board in 1986, was given a wrong perception by the people who tried to maybe carry awareness about it. So the wrong impression was that you will see where we draw a skull and put bones around it, and with red color, depicting that once someone gets it, the person will die.
Yeah,
it was really how it was then. It was that way then, but now, given the antiretroviral drug that we have, which is very, very effective, it's very, very impossible for one to turn to AIDS, because AIDS stage is a symptomatic stage. If someone who is positive and does not enroll into treatment, because what we do now is test and start treatment immediately. No longer wait for one to wait until your viral load gets down or up. So we normally start, so that to ensure that that person achieves what we call viral suppression. At that stage, you no longer transmit that infection. So the drugs we have, but what we are preaching now is that people should get tested, because by getting tested, that number out there who are living with this virus will stop transmitting to others. You know, in epidemic control, we call it U equals to U, undetected equals to untransmittable. At that level, just like I said, the virus will be in an inactive stage, will no longer be active, because you are taking that antiretroviral drug, which is very, very effective. And again, the stigma and discrimination is very high. And it has been discovered by UNAIDS in our global AIDS strategy that these are barriers that are affecting our HIV people who live with HIV from accepting the services that have been provided free in our facilities. So most of them tend to run away from coming to the facilities. But if we are able to team up as community members, work around anything that will avoid us from stigmatizing our people, we will find a whole lot of them accessing these treatment services that are being offered free in our communities. And by the end of the day, we see that people who are HIV positive in Anambra, in Nigeria, will know their status, and when they know their status, they will achieve this viral suppression by enrolling into treatment and care. Okay. So a good number of women who have passed through this PMTCT, the success rate is almost 100%. We find out that a child born to HIV positive mothers are born without HIV.
They are negative.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
No, go ahead.
Okay. We now want to talk about the 16-day activism that started on the 25th, right?
Of November.
Of November. Yes. So we want to talk about it, and we want to know how this activism, how it has contributed to broader effort in Anambra State to address health challenges like HIV/AIDS that we are talking about here.
Okay, thank you. Just like you earlier said, that UNAIDS will outline a number of strategies, and we identify a number of barriers that are affecting achieving the global target. The first global target is making sure that 95% of people who are living with HIV know their status. And the second one is that these people who know their status, 95% of them are enrolled into treatment, taking their antiretroviral drugs. Then the third of it is that these 95% of people who have enrolled into treatment will achieve viral suppression. Then that takes us to this issue of gender-based violence against women, which is global thing, the global activism. It commenced on the 25th day of November, we end on the 10th of December. The global theme is Unite, Invest to prevent gender-based violence against women. And girls. So why girls and women? They are the most vulnerable. It's not that men are not violence are not carried out on them, are not projected on them, but a good number of them that experience this violence are women, and mainly our women and girls and girl child. And these forms of violence ranges from physical abuse, sexual assault and rape, and even incest, female genital mutilation, and early and forced marriages. So, and a whole lot of them. And we have discovered that this rape and sexual assault, it's a precursor to one getting HIV. It makes one very prone to getting HIV. So to address the barriers, we brought it into our challenges, and we are addressing them holistically as something that will make us achieve our global target of ending AIDS by 2030. So the agency and globally, we now have what we call gender response team in the state. This team made up of association of women offering OVC care, advanced and vulnerable care, people from drug law enforcement agencies, police action committee on AIDS. We equally have Minister of Health, SATSCAP. We equally have National Human Rights Commission. We equally have Federation of Female Lawyers, and a whole number of people, organizations that are members. The essence of the team is for us to work as a team, addressing any gender-based violence that arises in the state, because it's not a one-man thing. The agency is offering providing a coordination role for all these agencies. And when we started, Ministry of Women Affairs is equally involved. When we started, we've recorded a number of success stories where we find out people who have been stigmatized, especially women and men that are being stigmatized on account of maybe where you're working, you are being stigmatized to because in terms of your HIV status. You are maybe people tend to stigmatize them by forcing them to do HIV tests, which is not it's a crime.
Man, that is where I'm actually coming. Thank God you even brought it to my attention now. If you want to reduce the scourge of HIV, you understand, and its prevalence in the society, so why should it be a crime for somebody to, you understand, for you to compel somebody to run a test? It shouldn't be a crime. It should be more like know your status early and then know how well you can. Yeah, you understand?
Okay, let me just give you 2014 Act of National Assembly.
Yeah.
National Assembly passed a law protecting people who are living with HIV and people who are affected also, because either you are infected or you are affected. Because people who are living with HIV, they come from families. Yeah. As I speak to you here, you don't know my status. It's only a confidential thing. And thank God we now have HIV self-tests where you can on your own do tests without involving anybody. Those are strategies that have emerged because of the stigma and discrimination we are experiencing. So it's even though we preach that people should do tests, but you shouldn't force them, you shouldn't coerce them. You tell them the essence of going to do these tests on their own. It's a human right thing.
But of those people that now know their status and choose not to take the drugs, and probably based on the fact that they either got it through rape and decide they want to spread it around.
But it's a crime for one to spread it. Even if you go through the laws, okay, it's enshrined, it's a public health nuisance for you to spread it. The laws are, the crimes for people doing such are spelled out in those laws. And for us here in Anambra, we are trying to domesticate it. It's not yet domesticated in Anambra State. We've equally presented the law to the House of Assembly. Mm-hmm. I don't know what is holding us. We are making frantic effort to see that this law is domesticated in Anambra State to show our political will to enforcement of rights of people living with HIV and those who are equally affected. So it's a compulsory thing, but we don't force people. You don't force people. We don't force people. And equally, when people when you employ people, you don't force them. You advise them on the essence of the importance of doing these tests. Yeah. It's quite beneficial because the time if one is positive and you allow yourself to run into full-blown AIDS, your time you spend in hospitals running helter-skelter for them to revive you to normal HIV status. You see that people who wouldn't even want to know their HIV status, maybe one way or the other know it then. So when you know it on time, you enroll into treatment, you reduce the number of people who are going to have the information. Because when this test is when this test is carried on you at that moment, you may be down, and people will be involved to maybe your family members. So we advise people to do it on their own and reduce the number of people that will know.
Okay, just like as our topic goes, the campaign against HIV in Anambra State, Let Communities Lead. We want you to share with us some of the initiatives or projects by these communities on how they have been, forming alliance with you people to lead in this campaign against the HIV in our different communities.
Okay, thank you. For us in Anambra here, we have a network of people living with HIV. And Anambra here in Anambra, we actually have an association of positive youths who are living with HIV. They are out there, and we work with them closely. We actually have a network of people, of women, association of women living with HIV, and some of them
like
help
married
us.
one?
Yes, we have.
Kids.
Yes,
Okay.
we have married women living with HIV. It's just like it's just a normal health challenge, like one having high blood pressure and one having diabetic, being a diabetic patient. Just have to take your drugs and manage it. And when you see yourself give birth to your child, or even you see a couple, one living with HIV, one not living with HIV, what we call
just go ahead. You
okay,
remember it
yeah,
because of this question.
yes. So discordant couple, one positive, one the other, and they live happily and give birth to their children. So, and we want more people to help us. And just like I said, the global team is Let Communities Lead. That is a global team. Then Nigeria is communities leadership to end AIDS by 2030. So that by involving community leaders, structures at every level, the PGs of the town, the women leaders, the youth structures, the churches, religious bodies, any form of structure where people interact and meet, we want to involve them to help us in passing this message, in taking up this response, in taking up this intervention at their various levels. Because we leverage on every information, on every platform to sell our mandate, which is prevention of HIV, treatment, research in the state. So, and just like I said, tomorrow we'll be having a symposium. That symposium, we have what people call Achieving Health in Nigeria initiative. They are the lead implementing partner. They man all the health facilities in Anambra State, and also Healthcare Foundation, they're in charge of the facilities, giving these treatment services and equally giving prevention and other cares to people with HIV and those who are equally affected. So tomorrow, I will equally have UNAIDS, Joint United Nations Program on HIV/AIDS. They'll be supporting us to have a symposium tomorrow at Hilton Leisure Hotel, very close to Regina Chile. They'll be having a panel of discussion where we'll be articulating issues affecting us or making us not to achieve ending AIDS by 2030, attainment of global target of ending AIDS by 2030. So we have a panel of discussions from many of these stakeholders tomorrow. And we equally have a roadwork on 1st of December. We equally have a press briefing with Honorable Commissioner of Health on 30th of November. And we equally have church visits and mosque visits to help us do this. So we have a good number of, and even testing points here and there in Anambra State.
There's something I want to ask quickly before AJ will ask this question. Now, when it comes to testing, how often should we get tested? Of course, I know we have the personal kit that you can be doing that on your own. How often? And then people that are already positive, is there a point where they can stop taking the antiretroviral drugs? Probably at that point where their viral load must have reduced drastically, and you say that okay, they can live without taking the antiretroviral drugs, and they cannot still, pass the, the virus to another person if they have any contact sexually.
Okay. HIV AIDS. Once one is confirmed positive. And the confirmation must come from health facility, because half stages of testing algorithm. First of all, we use what we call first line. The first line is determine blood-based test, or if you are using HIV self-test, the one you have to do on your own, you can get this one at our pharmacy and patent and proprietary medicine vendors. We've trained a whole number of pharmacies and patent medicine vendors in Anambra State, and they have this HIV self-test in stock, and they are equally trained on how to manage patients at their level before sending to facility for confirmation, because at that level is where you confirm whether you are positive. The one they do there is oral, using oral quick. The one you need to just rub around your gum, and within 20 minutes you confirm your status. I use it. If you have double line of red, you go to facility. That is a positive sign. But the hospital, at the facility is where it will be confirmed with what we call unit gold. And after that unit gold, if by chance it turns out to be negative, you will now go for what we call, you use start pack. That one is tiebreaker to ensure that the test is negative. With that one, any test that comes out from them is the final stage of test. So, and just like you said, we advise one to do this test, maybe depending on the way you expose yourself, maybe once every 3 months.
Every 3 months.
It's ideal, depending on the way you expose yourself. You know, we now have people we call key population, because of their sex life and maybe their lifestyle. They are more predisposed to getting this HIV infection. People will call people who inject drugs, because at that stage one will inject and give the other. They are not in their normal state of right thinking frame mental state. Yeah. So, and again we have sex workers, because they do engage in transactional sex. They meet a lot of people, so it's for them it's a kind of business. Then again we have men who have sex with men, and again we have men who have sex with men. Because of the way they do it, their chance of getting it is very high. Again we have people in correctional facilities, people in prisons, and who am I forgetting?
Even the health workers too.
No, health workers, they are not considered as key population.
Okay.
Even when we have pockets of them getting exposed, but we have what we call post-exposure prophylaxis. That is a way of making sure that someone who gets in contact with anything blood or having to pierce, maybe you have needle stick injury at that level, within 72 hours, you take what we call post-exposure prophylaxis to ensure that you don't get that HIV. But if you miss it, the chance of you getting it after 72 hours is very high.
Okay.
So,
has there been any form of mutation since 1986, when the outbreak of HIV first hit? Is it zoonotic? Can it be transmitted from animals to man and vice versa? And you said in the course of the discussion that you tell us other ways where people can contact HIV. I think that would be very important for viewers to...
Okay, just like I said before, that HIV is either gotten through blood contact fluid, seminal fluid. Then again, through one exposing yourself to sharp objects, due to mother to child transmission, on-screen blood transfusion. And again, but the ways to control it is we have what we call the interventions we are running is we have what we call MPPI, minimum prevention package of intervention. Yeah, there it's outlined, the methods of controlling HIV are outlined. Just a package of intervention for the country for intervening in HIV. We only have this prevention of mother to child transmission of HIV. So these are under it, we preach that people should get tested using the HIV tests. Then doing community outreaches and making relevant laws, and equally the one we are now about, we have just advocated for it to enroll it into our schools in Anambra State, family life health education. There we engage our children, our students in school on schools, HIV.
You mean primary or secondary?
Secondary schools,
okay, secondary
both
schools.
Girls and boys. Yes, at least you give them basic tips about HIV. And equally about sexual reproductive health,
Yeah.
devoid of them, I will not make them to be more vulnerable to getting HIV. We are not preaching about condom in school. So it's something that our parents should talk to their ward, because HIV is here with us, and a whole lot is happening behind them. So we must engage our wards on time, so that they have the requisite knowledge to take the right decision at the right time.
Okay.
What of tattoos and the rest? Did he make mention of that?
Tattoo, anything sharp object. What I mentioned, anything sharp.
Okay.
You can, or even when you're barbing, and once you have blood contact, the chance of you getting HIV is there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still talking on the 16-day activism, and then the conversation and discussion ongoing in different communities. We want to know the level of involvement of community leaders and members when we talk about, forming a forum where you converse and talk about this HIV. How has it been? How involved are they in, curbing this menace or this ailment?
So far, so good. We are making progress, but more needs to be done. Just like I told you, we have local action committee on AIDS in our communities who are manning our local government level in different local governments of Anambra State. We equally have Ndigwe. These LACAs interface with them, the PGs, the women structures, and our network of people living with HIV. On our own, we do advocacy visits to these traditional rulers. Government cannot do everything alone.
Yes.
So involving these community structures will help us fill that gaps where we cannot reach. They do it for us. So that has been identified as a very veritable opportunity and platform that will help us to reach our target of ending AIDS by 2030. And equally, this symposium we are having tomorrow, I believe is not a one-off thing. It's a kind of, let us tell our stories where we are in Anambra State. This is the first of its kind agency organized in the state. Let us speak to these critical stakeholders, because if they don't know, they won't know how to intervene. But if they hear it from the horse's mouth, what there are roles that you are supposed to do as a community leader. Because by chance I've gotten a minute of a town where someone is being because the person is living with HIV. It now forms a part of discussion in the community. So it's very down that they are ignorant of what is happening. So we need to cut that trend of
discrimination.
Yes, at that level. And we've even helping to even sensitize when you have any community forum. Know that anybody who is even living with HIV is not a death sentence. The person cannot transmit. It's even good that the person comes out on time and start taking this drugs, so that to cut the trend, the transmission in the state. So it's a very good something we are looking up that will help us achieve our target.
Okay, so once again, your activities are, you just talked about the symposium, and then you have a walk on Friday, that is 1st of December. Okay.
I will probably be using the opportunity to appreciate those who have helped us in achieving epidemic control in Anambra State, because we cannot give everything, but at least appreciation is enough for us to have more people join us in this fight to end AIDS in Anambra.
Okay.
Thank you.
So is there any contact, any number anyone can reach you on if they really want to be part of this campaign?
Yes. Just like I said, we have a GHR response team, gender and human rights response team in the state. We have a contact number where people can reach us in case you are being discriminated or your rights are being violated on account of your HIV status. Or even when you're not HIV status, people tend to molest you and stigmatize you in your place of work and wherever. So NACA, because we don't do it alone, we work with National Agency for Control of AIDS in Nigeria. We have the toll-free line where you can call. That one is toll-free, 6222, 6222. That one is toll-free. But if you want to call us here in Anambra Direct, we have a number. That one is not toll-free. The number is 090-6048-6600. Someone is there waiting to...
can you call it slowly? So that people can pick that up, please.
090 60 48 6600. Again, 090 60 48 6600. Your matter and we'll work as a team to resolve it.
Okay, quickly, where and where can people walk into to get the appropriate test?
Okay, we have about 1,100 and something facilities in Anambra State. I don't want to misquote, about 1,100 and something facilities mapped and are offering these HIV interventions.
Tests, to run tests?
Yes, the test, yes.
Okay.
They do test. Test is the first step
Okay.
inroad into HIV cascade of treatment.
Okay.
So it's when you are tested first that you can now direct you the appropriate place to go. Here in Oka, we're offering at CUTE, University Teaching Hospital, we have tertiary, primary, and secondary health facilities. Equally, our health centers in our communities,
Okay.
we offer these HIV services free. We're not charging any money. HIV drugs are free. I know government is doing a lot, and our governor has equally made free and then services free for women to access antenatal care services. So, thank you.
On that note, we'll say thank you so much, John Bosco Ementa, the Executive Director, Ansaka, Anambra State. Thank you for being here today and sensitizing us on HIV and then the role of the campaign against HIV in Anambra State. Let communities lead. Well, I'm sure with much of that you've heard, it will be imperative for you to go out there and know your status so that you definitely can make the job a lot easier for them. Well, on that note, we'll say tomorrow we'll definitely get to do it again. I'm Ajuluchuku Okabwe.
Oh, my name is Chidimma Oranwa. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you so much for making this possible.
Okay. See you again tomorrow. Bye.
Beautiful, it's your name. Wonderful is what you are to me.
Every mom, a treasure beyond measure. 3 Crowns Milk. Healthy moms, happy families.
Please, everybody, stand and help me welcome Travis Green, everybody.